Lomography has released a new Daylight Developing Tank for 35mm film, and according to them, a new era of home film development is here. But is that true? Now, the concept of a daylight developing tank has existed for quite a long time. In fact, Kodak had a patent for something like this as far back as 1902. So with that in mind, does Lomography bring something unique to the table with this developing tank? This all-in-one film developing system is designed for developing 35mm film anywhere, anytime with no darkroom or changing bag required. That's straight from the horse's mouth. And speaking of that horse named Lomography, they were kind enough to send me a prototype version of this developing tank. Big shout out to the Lomography team, especially Chloe. Thank you so much for working with me on this project. And right here I want to put a big emphasis on the word prototype. In fact, this tank didn't even have all of its pieces. The metal buckle thing was not included in the version I tested out and sent back to them, so just bear that in mind with this video. But Lomography wanted my expert opinion, you know, the guy who pours hard Mountain Dew into Patterson tanks. I'm sure I'll offer some great insight. Home darkrooms rock, and nowadays it's really a lot easier than you think to get one set up. I've been processing all my own film since 2020, and I find it to be a super rewarding part of the process. This is normally what I do. First I clip the leader, then I pop open the cassette, I pull the film out, I thread it onto the reel, I wind it all up, I stick the tube in, that's what she said, drop it into the tank, and then cover it up. Did I mention that all of this happens in the dark? I don't get to see any of it. It all happens inside this dark bag. Make sure you smash subscribe for that roll of film I just ruined to make a point here. Now, I've been doing this for years. It's become second nature for me. But when I was starting out, this was definitely a challenge. The Lomography Daylight Developing Tank seeks to make this process more accessible, especially to newcomers. I definitely think beginners are the target for this developing tank. For someone like me who has a workflow established already, I'm super comfortable using a Patterson tank, and I don't really see a reason for me to change that. But I'm also the type of guy who finds what he likes at a restaurant and then only orders that for like the next decade, so maybe don't go by me. There's also an interesting use case for people who are traveling. If you have one of these, you can throw it in your check bag and then say you're going somewhere where you can buy chemistry. You can easily develop your film in a hotel room or even in your car, and then you don't have to worry about airport scanners or mailing your film out to a darkroom. Also, I don't think it would be a great idea to bring darkroom chemistry on a plane, but then again, I don't work for the FAA, so what do I know? The price is also pretty reasonable. At 80 bucks, sure, it's more expensive than buying a Patterson tank, but after buying the dark bag, the film leader retriever, and the bottle opener, it's probably about the same cost anyway. There is an obvious comparison here, the lab box. I actually did make a few videos about that system way back in the day on this channel. Since then, I've grown quite a bit in terms of my film photography. Today we're going to be developing 120mm film with the lab box.
Is he stupid?
I have been meaning to do a follow-up review of the lab box system because frankly my opinion has soured on it quite a bit. Honestly, it really does overcomplicate something simple. But at the time, with my lack of experience, it was inviting to quote-unquote streamline the process for me. In the long run, it kinda didn't. In my opinion, the Lomography Daylight Developing Tank is a more elegant solution than the lab box. The lab box is really fiddly. You can assemble it backwards and ruin a roll of film. There's no good way to invert it during agitation. It's difficult to clean, and it can be super messy when you're pouring out your chemistry. Also, the lab box is just way more expensive. I developed my first roll under the video light I normally use to light my B-roll, and it went absolutely perfectly. The whole point of that was just to make sure it's light tight. I'm not gonna ruin a roll, nothing like that. You do need to cut your roll of film very specifically though. Normally I just circumcise it, I just chop a piece of... Can't even say that one with a straight face. I just cut the tip off. But with this system, you need to cut it specifically at the 8th sprocket hole. That sounds like some sort of riddle to find treasure. You also need to cut off the ends on an angle here. This is something I don't do, but I know a lot of my friends do it, so I don't know. Then you thread it through so that only the tiniest bit of film is exposed. You drop it into the tank, you lock it in, you crank that hog until you can't crank it anymore, then you cut the film, and you're good to add in your chemistry. I'm using CineStill's DF96 monobath at the moment. It's all I had on deck. I need to make a follow-up video about that chemistry as well because, oh boy, do I have more evolving thoughts on that. But overall, I was very happy with the results of the first roll. In order to truly test the daylight capabilities of this tank, let's crack a beer and develop a roll of film outside. It's 30 degrees out, so unfortunately I'm gonna need pants for this.
Don't, no.
Hopefully the roll doesn't reticulate because of the temperature. Spoiler alert, it did. The other rolls I processed did have some problems. The tank got jammed up by what I later realized were little pieces of film. The area in question is the black piece that goes into the reel. This caused me to accidentally cut a few rolls of film too early. Fortunately, I was able to save my rolls by coincidentally throwing the whole thing into a dark bag. And trust me, the irony on this daylight tank being in a dark bag is not lost on me. But after realizing the issue, the solution is really simple. You gotta clean the damn thing, shocker. Make sure the parts are clear and that there are no remnants of film left behind, and you'll have no problem whatsoever. I gotta tell you, at first I was thinking to myself, oh, this is probably because it's a prototype, but actually, I think it was my fault. There are some limitations you should know about for sure, especially if you're more experienced in the darkroom. First of all, you can only process one roll of film at a time. For me, that's an issue because normally I let a bunch of rolls accumulate and then I just develop them all at once and make an afternoon out of it. One roll at a time would definitely hold me up. Without the metal buckle, you can't invert the tank, which is my preferred method of agitation, and you can't process 120 film, though since this one is named 35mm, I imagine they'll make a 120 version in the future. I have no idea. Lomography didn't say anything like that, that's just my speculation. I could have been done here. However, when Chloe first reached out to me, she mentioned my darkroom knowledge, and immediately I said to myself, does she know what I do on this channel, or? I used to work a lot with Birgit from Lomography, and she was very familiar with this channel.
But be careful with it, it's the only prototype we have in the US, so...
Okay, I'll guard it with my life. So I imagine their conversation may have went something like this. Is he good at this film photography YouTube thing? He's got a great personality. But then, Chloe told me I could hang onto the tank and develop a roll using hard Mountain Dew. Here's a testament to how prepared I am for anything in life. I didn't realize I had no fixer on deck. Smart. So I also embarked... Oh god, I gotta sneeze. Damn, sneeze reveal, and I'm not even at 100K, what is this? So I also embarked on the first ever DIY fixer experiment on this channel. I consulted my darkroom tribunal, Shay and Ferret from my Discord, hi guys, and I took their advice. I made a DIY stop bath consisting of water and vinegar and a fixer using a saltwater solution. I left it in the fixer for like 2 hours. I saw online there was a bunch of talk about this sort of thing, and some people were saying you need to leave it in there for like a month. I'm not doing that. Well, it sort of worked. I definitely overcooked the negatives, but wow, look at those stunning results. There I am, Goober of the Year. The Lomography Daylight Developing Tank is an interesting new product out there that may really shake up the home developing scene. It certainly would make life easier for a beginner, provided you learn the ins and outs of using this system. This isn't something you could take out of the box, not read the instructions, and be all set. Definitely read up, do your homework, watch their video, and then watch more of my videos. More experienced home darkroom people might not see a strong reason to switch up their workflow for something like this, though. The bottom line is Lomography has consistently been putting out interesting new film stuff and helping expand the film community. More people shooting film is always a good thing. Thank you so much for the opportunity to try out this prototype. I had a lot of fun. Smash subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
Like and subscribe. Sweet Lomo Photography. Down there.